welcome to my channel. You know, when I was younger, we never imagined we'd one day carry the whole world in our pockets. Phones were just for talking, televisions were for watching, and letters were for sharing love. But today, everything seems to happen on a screen. Messages, photos, doctor visits, even family gatherings. For many of us seniors, that can feel overwhelming. That's why I want to talk about how minimalism can simplify our relationship with technology and make communication easier, calmer, and more joyful. I remember when I first got my smartphone. It had so many icons I didn't understand. I tried to keep up, downloading every app my kids told me about: Facebook, WhatsApp, Zoom, Instagram, you name it. But instead of feeling connected, I felt lost. Notifications kept buzzing, updates popped up, and before I knew it, I was more anxious than before. That's when I realized technology isn't the problem. It's how we use it. And that's where a minimalist mindset can truly change everything. Minimalism teaches us to focus on what truly matters. When it comes to technology, that means using fewer tools, but using them better. For communication, maybe you only need a simple phone app and one video call platform. You don't need to chase every trend or app that appears. Instead, find the one that feels natural, easy, and reliable. When I made that change, I stopped checking my phone every few minutes, and I started enjoying my conversations again. One of the most powerful steps I took was decluttering my digital space. I deleted dozens of apps that I never used and unsubscribed from endless newsletters. The feeling was liberating. Just like clearing out a messy garage or closet, cleaning your digital world can give you peace of mind. Every unnecessary icon or email is a little distraction tugging at your attention. When they're gone, you can finally focus on what truly brings you happiness: talking to your loved ones. Many seniors worry that simplifying technology means missing out. But the opposite is true. When you simplify, you gain clarity and confidence. Instead of feeling afraid you'll break something, you start to trust yourself again. It's easier to make a video call when you're not juggling 5 different apps. It's easier to send photos when your phone isn't full of unused tools. Simplicity isn't about giving up, it's about gaining control. Another key to minimalist technology is setting healthy boundaries. Do you really need notifications at all hours? Probably not. I turned off almost all of mine, and suddenly my evenings were quiet again. I could read, rest, and think without constant interruptions. When you choose when to use technology instead of letting it control you, life becomes calmer. You realize the world won't fall apart if you don't reply instantly. Learning new technology as a senior can be intimidating, but it doesn't have to be. I learned at my own pace. I asked my grandchildren to show me one new thing each week. Just one. Slowly, I built confidence. The minimalist approach tells us not to rush, not to overload ourselves. Little by little, small steps lead to big improvements. And before you know it, you're sending photos, joining family calls, and even sharing stories online. Another lesson I discovered is that technology is meant to serve you, not the other way around. If an app makes you frustrated more often than happy, you can let it go. That's not quitting, it's choosing peace. When you delete what doesn't serve you, you make space for what truly matters. That might be a simple messaging app that helps you stay in touch with your family, or a video call every Sunday that warms your heart. Financially, simplifying your tech can also save you money. Many seniors pay for data, apps, or subscriptions they don't need. By adopting minimalism, you can reduce those costs. Use free or basic versions, cancel unused plans, and focus on essentials. The result isn't just a lighter phone, it's a lighter wallet too. And that's something we can all appreciate on a fixed income. I also found that a minimalist approach improves my mental well-being. The constant digital noise, ads, pop-ups, and updates can be exhausting. By simplifying my digital life, I regained a sense of calm and control. My mind feels less cluttered, and I can enjoy my day with more clarity. Sometimes we forget that mental clutter is just as heavy as physical clutter. Over time, I began treating technology like any other tool in my home. Just as I wouldn't keep a broken radio or a dozen frying pans, I don't keep apps or gadgets I don't use. Everything should have a purpose. When your digital world is organized and meaningful, communication feels easier and you feel lighter inside. Simplifying technology doesn't mean you have to be alone with it. Join small groups or community classes that teach tech basics. Share your progress with friends. Minimalism isn't isolation, it's connection with intention. When we help each other, learning becomes joyful, not stressful. One thing I love to remind my peers is that we lived through a world before smartphones, and we thrived. That strength and adaptability are still within us. Technology may have changed, but our wisdom remains. We don't have to master everything. We just need to choose what fits our lives. That's the true heart of minimalism. Many seniors fear they'll be left behind if they simplify. But in truth, simplicity makes you more present. When you aren't struggling with devices or passwords, you can focus on the conversation, the laughter, the moment itself. That's where real connection lives. Not in the gadget, but in the heart. I once helped a friend who was terrified of her new tablet. She thought she'd break it just by touching it wrong. Together, we simplified the settings, deleted unnecessary apps, and created a clean home screen. Within a week, she was confidently video calling her sister every morning. That's the beauty of minimalist technology. It restores confidence and independence. Another important aspect is digital safety. Simplifying also reduces risks. Fewer accounts mean fewer passwords to remember and fewer chances for scams. Keep only what you need and learn to recognize suspicious messages. Peace of mind comes not from having every tool, but from using the right ones wisely. Even spiritually, minimalism in technology has brought me peace. When I'm not constantly scrolling or checking notifications, I notice the world again. The sound of birds, the smell of morning coffee, the joy of a phone call with a friend. Life slows down in the best way. Technology becomes a gentle companion, not a demanding master. For communication, my minimalist toolkit now includes just a smartphone, one video call app, and email. That's all I need. Each has a purpose, and each adds value. I no longer chase updates or worry about missing out. Instead, I enjoy simple, meaningful contact with the people I love. If you're feeling overwhelmed by technology, remember this: you don't have to do it all. Start small, simplify one thing at a time, and celebrate every little victory. The goal isn't perfection, it's peace. Technology should make your life easier, not busier. As I continued to simplify, I noticed something surprising. My relationships became stronger. Before, I was often distracted during calls or messages, multitasking between apps and notifications. Once I cleared that clutter, I started listening more deeply. My children and grandchildren felt truly heard, and our conversations became richer. It wasn't just about the words. It was about the attention, the quiet moments of laughter, and the feeling of genuine presence that technology often steals from us when used without mindfulness. I also began teaching a few friends in my neighborhood how to simplify their tech lives. We'd sit together once a week, sharing stories about our digital frustrations and helping each other find easier ways to communicate. One lady realized she didn't need her complicated tablet anymore. Just her phone and one easy app were enough. Seeing her smile when she video called her granddaughter for the first time reminded me why this journey matters. Minimalism is not just about things, it's about freedom and confidence. Another benefit I've discovered is how much time minimalism gives back. Instead of spending hours figuring out confusing settings or scrolling through endless feeds, I now use that time for what truly matters: walking in the park, reading, or visiting friends. Technology should fit into our lives, not take over them. Once you remove the unnecessary layers, you rediscover time, energy, and peace. It's amazing how a few thoughtful changes can make your days feel longer and lighter. Finally, I've come to see that simplifying technology isn't just for convenience. It's a form of self-care. It's a way of saying, my peace of mind matters. When we let go of the noise and complexity, we create room for joy, for presence, for connection that feels real. And that's what minimalism for seniors is truly about. Not living with less, but living with purpose. Remember, every message, every call, every moment of connection becomes more meaningful when it's not buried under digital clutter. Keep things simple, and your world will feel open and calm once more. And as I look back now, I realize that embracing minimalist technology was never just about simplifying my devices. It was about simplifying my life. Every step, from deleting old apps to choosing mindful moments for connection, helped me rediscover a sense of balance I didn't know I'd lost. Technology no longer feels like a mountain I have to climb, but rather a gentle. Thanks for watching. I hope my journey towards simplifying technology inspires you to take control of your digital world. When you embrace minimalism for seniors, communication becomes a joy again. Simple, heartfelt, and stress-free. Stay kind to yourself, stay curious, and keep things beautifully simple.